earlier today, she called Nigeria a zoo country, and she was saying that the people of Ondo State were Igbophobic. At the point she said Ofe Manu. At the point she said that, you know, she spoke about the legacy of the late former governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu. Before I even go ahead with this analysis, if you want the updates, you can go and watch my previous video. But here, I want to say my opinion. And the question I have for Auntie Betty is that, Auntie, do you want your husband to rest in peace or not? This is personal to me. Betty, I am the Akeredolu. Oh, le jeki oku ikosi jejeje. In as much as we are trying to look away, because we are trying to respect the dead. I think the living need to respect themselves. Because you talking about Igbophobic. The people voted for your husband for the first tenure. They voted, they re-elected him for a second tenure. He almost spent 8 years as a governor. You are talking about Nigeria being a zoo country. I'm not even talking about Nigeria. I'm even talking about that state on those states. If you claim that Nigeria is a zoo country, how will you and your husband nothing. State a better place for the people. And you're talking about the like I said, we've been respecting the dead. That's why people be talking about certain things. And I remember, you know, defending you on this page. If you go and look at my own video during the burial of Akeredolu that she was looking for trouble over the internet. I came here, I was defending, you know, I was just saying that okay, but if you want to tribe in all of these things, until we did here for you, we did plenty. You're talking about the legacy of your husband. What is stupid legacy does he have? That during the administration of your husband, Akure became the dirtiest city. Dirtiest in history. From Obadeshida, down to Arakale, down to whatever phobia, down to Oluwatuni, down to Ijapo, down to Alabaga, that the whole Akure was an eyesore. Every corner. Akure became so dirty. You want to talk about late payment of salary. You want to talk about power tussle. How power drunk you and your husband and your son, how you were. That when your husband was sick, he was incapacitated. He was in Ibadan in his house. The governor of Ondo State was living in Ibadan. He was sick. Instead of him to transfer power to his deputy, he did not, because of the ongoing whatever between them. And this man was sick to the extent that he could not sign documents. Whenever they need to sign documents, this man was not around. There were heaps of documents to be signed by the governor. At the point, some of the government officials, they taken documents down to Ibadan to live in his residence because he was sick. You all remember the Commissioner of Finance that they started forging the signature of the governor, and some other people were using the opportunity to loot the treasury of Ondo State. Your son was involved. You yourself were involved. They wanted to do forensic tests to trace all the people that were forging the signature. They looted Ondo State. What is the legacy of your husband? Like I said earlier, it is either you choose if your husband was to rest in peace. I don't know people, we respect the dead. But if you want to bring it on, it's something we did here for you. Like I said, this is personal to me. You and your husband, your family, you took Ondo State 10 years backwards. We know how it was when Mimi was the governor. And I made this analysis when this whole thing was going on. Betty Akeredolu, do not play bitter politics. Put yourself in a place of respect, just like Kemi Mimiko. And we see that till date, the people don't joke with Kenny because of how she placed herself. But you came, you were doing basha. Started creating enemies, started doing orishirishi in the States. And we saw how power drunk you were. Most of the things that your husband bought, some of the vehicles, you took it down to your states.
100,000.
We saw everything. Your husband was sick. You came out to debunk. He could not even sign documents. You were debunking. You were holding on to power. You were the one running the state with your son. And like I said then during my analysis when Akere was sick, that if to say things they all right for Nigeria, that nobody should go for APC going forward.
Nonsense.
Because of how you and your husband, your whole family, took Ondo State backwards. Let's talk about Betty Akeredolu. So earlier today, she called Nigeria a zoo country, and she was saying that the people of Ondo State were Igbophobic. At the point she said Ofe Manu. At the point she said that that they were trying to, she spoke about the legacy of the late former governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu. And the question I have, before I even go ahead in this analysis, if you want the updates, you can go and watch my previous video. But here, I want to say my opinion. And the big question I have for Auntie Betty is that, Auntie, do you want your husband to rest in peace or not? This is personal to me. Because I have my roots in Ondo State, and I am a stakeholder in Ondo State. In as much as we are trying to look away, because we are trying to respect the dead, I think the living need to respect themselves. Because Auntie Betty Akeredolu, you talking about Igbophobic. The people voted for your husband for the first tenure. They re-elected him for his second tenure. He almost spent 8 years as a governor. You are talking about Nigeria being a zoo country. I'm not even talking about Nigeria. I'm even talking about that state, Ondo State. If you claim that Nigeria is a zoo country, how were you and your husband, what were the things you people put in place to make Ondo State a better place for the people? And you are talking about the legacy of Akeredolu. Like I said, we've been respecting the dead. That's why we've not been talking about certain things. And I remember, defending you on this page. If you go and look at my whole video during the burial of Akeredolu, that she was looking for trouble all over internet. I came here, I was defending, I was just saying that, okay, let's take out the tribe and all of those things. But if you want to put tribe in all of these things, and say we did here for you, we did with plenty. You are talking about the legacy of your husband. What stupid legacy does he have? That during the administration of your husband, Akure became the dirtiest city. Exactly. Dirtiest in history. From Obadeshida, down to Arakale, down to Nepa, down to Shijuade, down to Oluwatuyi, down to, what's it called?
Mention it.
Down to Alagbaka. That the whole Akure was an eyesore. Every corner. Akure became so dirty. You want to talk about late payment of salary. You want to talk about power tussle. How power drunk you and your husband and your son, how you were. That when your husband was sick, he was incapacitated. He was in Ibadan in his house.
Yeah.
The governor of Ondo State was living in Ibadan. He was sick. Instead of him to transfer power to his deputy, he did not, because of the ongoing whatever between them. And this man was sick to the extent that he could not sign documents. Whenever they need to sign documents, this man was not around. There were heaps of documents to be signed by the governor. He was in Ibadan. At a point, some of the government officials were taking documents down to Ibadan to him in his residence because he was sick. You all remember the commissioner of finance, that they started forging the signature of the governor, and some other people were using the opportunity to loot the treasury of Ondo State.
Your son was involved. You yourself, you were involved. That they wanted to do forensic tests to trace all the people that were forging the signature. They looted Ondo State. What is the legacy of your husband? Like I said earlier, it is either you choose if your husband wants to rest in peace. I don't know people, we respect the dead. But if you want to bring it on, we sabi, we dey here for you. Like I said, this is personal to me. You and your husband, your family, you took Ondo State 10 years backwards. We know how it was when Mimiko was the governor.
More than 10 years,
and I made this analysis when this whole thing was going on, that Betty Akeredolu, do not play bitter politics. Put yourself in a place of respect, just like Kemi Mimiko. And we see that till date, the people don't joke with Kemi Mimiko because of how she placed herself. But you came, you were doing basha, omojo rolari, obagbara ton, monko to confun. Started creating enemies, started doing rishi in the States, and we saw how power drunk you were. Most of the things that your husband bought, some of the vehicles, you took it down to your States.
Exactly.
We saw everything. Your husband was sick. You came out to debunk. He could not even sign documents. You were debunking. You were holding on to power. You were the one running the state with your son. And like I said then, during my analysis when Akeredolu was still sick, that if to say things they all right for Nigeria, that nobody should vote for APC going forward because of how you and your husband, your whole family took Ondo State backwards. We know how it was when Mimiko was the governor. Is it mother and child that you want to talk about? That people were coming from all over Nigeria.
That's true.
To access healthcare. So what is the legacy of Akeredolu? Like I said, let us just leave the dead. Let the dead rest in peace. But you should be ashamed of yourself to even come on social media and say anything about maybe a electionary process, because your husband, your whole family has been a beneficiary of this same bad system. That same bad system made your husband first-time governor, second-time governor. Your husband was former president of NBA. When Yaradua was sick, he was incapacitated. Your husband was part of the people that led the struggle that Yaradua should transfer power to Goodluck. But when it came to your husband's turn, he held on to power. People were saying, where's the governor? Governor no day to sign. Governor day Ibadan. After that, he was in Germany for how many months before he passed away. You were still the one running the affair of the state, and your son. So, madam, respect yourself, jeje as you did. Because ideally, you should be in jail right now. You and your son. You and your husband should be in jail right now. I
don't know why they are not. I just know.
And like I said before, but it is so sad that obviously Lucky Aye, that's why we be the one to win the election. Nobody should have voted. Nobody should even vote for APC anymore in Ondo States. Oshira Tamarayo. You are coming out to say Nigeria is a zoo country. The people of Ondo State are Igbophobic. Igbophobic kill you there. Allow no duty. You wey be say they talk, make you keep quiet, make you no talk. You know the shame?
You know the shame? I don't understand.
Go back and see what you did to Ondo State. I beg, make we respect the dead. But if you don't want to choose respect, violence dey. Like I said, this Ondo State is personal to me. So Auntie Betty, ejekoriwa ko straight.
Let's talk about Betty Akeredolu. So earlier today, she called Nigeria a zoo country, and she was saying that the people of Ondo State were Igbophobic. At the point she said Ofe Manu, at the point she said that they were trying to, she spoke about the legacy of the former governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu. And the question I have, before I go ahead in this analysis, if you want to update, you can go and watch. Mo rí fídíò kan tí ẹ̀gbọ́n ojú tó yọ ojú òpó tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ṣe wà ń bẹ̀ ní ọdún kan náà wọ́n sì lo òkè ẹ wo 9 years tí àwọn PDP ṣe ẹ wo nǹkan tó bàjẹ́ ẹ wo nǹkan tó ṣe ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé léṣirò sí gbogbo ẹ̀ wá dojúrú da ìtẹ̀lú da oríwú da párú bí ẹsẹ̀ télọ̀. Bóyá ẹ fẹ́ sọ Nàìjíríà di one party state ni màá wò tẹ́ẹ̀bẹ̀ sí tẹ́ ń ṣe gẹ́gẹ́rẹ́ àwọn àbò wọn ṣe wọ́n mọ̀ àìsí ẹ̀gbọ́n tẹ̀ lójú tí wọ́n tẹ̀ mọ̀ pé àwọn ọmọ kan wà tó ń wò wọ́n kí lẹ wá fẹ́ jẹ́ kí next generation wa tẹ̀ wá ṣe ń sìn ó ga ọ torí owó yìí náà ẹ dẹ̀ jẹ́ kí n fi lè sí rẹ́kọ̀dì torí nǹkan ohun tí mo gbọ́ lóru èní ni wípé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nú àwọn tó ń rúùlù lọ́wọ́ yìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nú wọn ò ní parí tẹ́nì wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àá mú ẹ̀mí wọn kọjá lọ mo gbọ́ lóru èní.